Hey everyone. Hi. I know my sudden transition from my video needs some work. Hello everyone. For those of you who aren't familiar with the show, my name is Julia Holly. I own JH Creative. I am pretty much, I've been a designer for over 17 years now. I've been saying 14 years for many years now and realized the other day I was like 17 plus years. Oh my gosh. Okay. But anyways, I'm super excited to introduce you to my next guest, Eric Thomas. He is now owner of UnderStory Studio based in Tallahassee, Florida. I really thank you for joining me, and just a little bit about UnderStory. And of course, we'll talk about his background and everything, and we'll dive in. And I'm super excited about that because I'm passionate about helping people tell their story. And that's why I'm doing this live. UnderStory designs and builds thoughtfully crafted brand systems and digital experiences. And how I met Eric, I can't even recall how we met, but somehow we met.
I can't either.
It's been a while.
It has been.
I don't know if we met through the same creative circles or we ended up potentially working together on some things, but I've reached out to you several times for quotes because I've seen your work. I am very picky, and I feel like UnderStory is one of the best studios in town.
Well, thank you. I consider ourselves picky too. Thank you.
Yeah, and I remember even one of my clients, Nick's Toggery, I worked with them several years. Their shop is located right around pretty much just in the same plaza as your studio there. So there's been times too where we reached out. And anyways, I really thank you for taking the time to be here.
Yes, well, thank you for inviting me.
So tell me a little bit about like how you got into design and, you know, your background. Where did you go to college? Sure. Those kinds of things.
Sure. Yeah. I grew up with my mom as an artist. And so I was always into art and design growing up. And so I actually won like statewide. I grew up in Georgia, in Atlanta. That was where I was born. Lived there through elementary school and middle school. I moved to Nashville, Tennessee, but my early years, I was into design and into art, and just did it because I loved it. And I'm a kind of a weird mix because I love sports. I was into sports. I was into art. I was into design. I was into all of that together. And so I entered a Coca-Cola art contest when I was in 8th grade and ended up winning like this statewide, and realized that maybe there was a future in doing things that were related to that, but that never really explored it. So that was kind of my early years. And once I got into high school, we moved to Nashville, and I got into high school and really the technology scene. I'm kind of also in that beginning of the internet. I mean, not to date myself, but it was when the internet wasn't around when I was young, and it became a thing. And I was in my later teenage years, when the internet was starting to get going, and that was fascinating to me. And so even then, I still wasn't really thinking of that as a career path. I was actually pre-med. I wanted to be a doctor. And so I graduated and moved to Athens, Georgia. I went to University of Georgia and was pre-med major there for a while, and got weeded out by the organic chemistry. I was like, this is too much for me. And so that was kind of my path down into design. Was still always there. Like I was into helping bands. I helped band, Athens is a big music town. And so I did band websites for bands and had cameras, taking pictures and videos and how to get that on their website. All that stuff was just stuff I enjoyed doing. And so that was kind of my path. I was kind of into this. I was into advertising. I was into all these different things that in school, when I was there, they wouldn't let me take art and take computer science. Back then, it was like you had to be in one or the other. And so I transitioned my major into psychology.
So interesting.
Yeah, so
you were thinking ahead. You were totally.
I was all over the place. Yeah, well, I wanted to be a pediatrician. That was kind of where I wanted. I love kids and all that. So that was like my thing. So I was like, oh, I'll do child psychology, and
that's great.
That ended up being way too depressing. I was like, I don't want to do this. And so I was in a computer science class, and I had a book. It was a program called Flash. Again, to date myself.
By the way, I should let you know, Eddie stopped by. He said hi.
Oh, great! Oh, yeah, awesome.
From Rubens. Hey, he's like, oh, that's my buddy Eric.
Oh, yes, love Eddie.
Go ahead
and
show his comment right there. No, so, you were saying.
Yeah, so my background was Flash, so that was like a new thing that at the time that was animation, and it's now rest in peace. But that was my thing. I was learning that, and I had a book in my computer science class, and my professor saw it and stopped me after class and asked me about it and asked me if I would teach him. And so that's when the light went off, and I was like, wait, this is like Wild West. Like, this is maybe I need to consider this as a path that I could do, just graduate. And so that's kind of how I got into it. I was in this more in the tech side, but I enjoyed the creative. I enjoyed the design. I enjoyed websites and all of these newer things. And so once I graduated, I went down the advertising world path and tried to get jobs with ad agencies. And that was my path. Graduating, my roommate at the time in Athens was from Tallahassee, and he worked at a local ad agency here called the Zimmerman Agency. And so when I graduated, they were hiring, and so I was about to move to Austin, Texas.
Oh, wow!
Blindly, and I was just like, I'm going to move. I just want something fresh. And he said, why don't you come interview down here? We're hiring a designer. And so I did. And that was kind of the path into, is in that world I wanted to be. And I was like, I'll live there for a year and then I'll move to Austin, and met my now wife. And at the time here, and in Tallahassee got its claws in me. And I've really been thankful for my time, back both growing up in ad agency with Zimmerman Agency and in Tallahassee, because the city grew. I had a lot of friends here that grew with it. I kind of feel like helped participate in a lot of things that have grown with it. And so that was 2002 when I moved here, and I've been here ever since. And then I left the agency world. In that I grew up from being, a designer doing emails and, have you heard of these things called websites, when it was like value added stuff, to where, I was a associate creative director officially there, but I was leading creative campaigns from TV to print to web. And, but my foundation has always been the digital approach. So when I left, that's what I wanted to do. Was like, I want a company that approaches brand and digital as a kind of a foundation. And so that's how UnderStory came to be. Is when I left, I was like, that's kind of my vision. And so that's what our focus is now is brand design, brand identities, and then websites, applications, and being mindful of user experience. And that's definitely the foundation too, but just good design. It's one of the things I try to emphasize is that design's not an expense, it's an investment. And I think a lot of opinions there is that people might see that immediately as an expense. And that's what we try to kind of alter that opinion, because if it's done properly, it's something that will pay off for you.
Absolutely. No, it's true. It's and the thing is, there's not that many UX designers or studios that really focus on UX design here in this area, or North Florida for that matter. Above Orlando or Tampa. So it's really brave for you to start something like that here, and you have to spend a lot of time to educate people in this space.
Yeah.
Right.
And a lot of us just asking why. I mean, honestly, sometimes I feel like we're borderline annoying, at first sometimes when I'm like, I'm trying not to be annoying, but the questions are important. So sometimes that's easy. I mean, a lot of clients have a lot of that and it's there, but sometimes you really got to dig, to figure out what it is. I laugh that I never realized how much I would use my psychology background, how many times I meet with clients and I feel like it's like, here, sit on the couch. And it's like,
there is so much to it.
You're uncovering things, and or I might come thinking, hey, we need your help with this. And then just in that discussion, lights go off and you're like, oh, actually, we can help you here, but you might need some help over in this area too.
Yeah.
So a lot of that happens too. So yes, I think it's funny how now there's a whole school at University of Georgia that teaches what I was trying to do.
Right.
So
you were merging art and science together.
Right.
And that's what designers are. Yeah. No, and it's true. Like it's important to really understand the why behind everything with branding and digital design, everything that you invest time into. Like, that's why we ask those questions. And we want to know if the business owner is actually serious, right? Are they serious about their idea? Are they willing to invest enough funds and things like that? So the question of questions, right? Do you have a budget?
That's always the dance. And to make sure we're the fit. That's why it's something like sometimes
Right.
someone, they just need a Squarespace site. It's like, just, that's not us, we're
Right.
custom work. I try to explain that of, we don't do any like purchase templates or update, we have the market of like, if someone needs a custom solution, either that's, because their brand needs it or, so a lot of that's just
what you
trying to
do,
help
right?
people to be like, immediately, yeah, we do custom, do brand. Our sweet spots when we can come in and help someone with a whole new brand identity, approach that as a system too, of how do you roll that out, and then also visualize that into, well, how do you work on their website for that? How does that articulate through the digital system and implement it in that? So those are all the spots that we try to focus on, and so that's what we enjoy. It's funny though that a lot of people that come to us, a lot of clients, typically for some reason people struggle to combine those. Like they typically come to us because they want help with a logo, or they come to us because they want help with a website. And I don't know if that's just because it's hard for people to think. I can't tell how many times we're working on a website and they're just like, oh, do y'all do logos? Or like, oh, we have a logo. And they're like, yeah, we need help with a website. And I'm like, we do that too. And they're just like, oh, you do? So maybe that's us not being clear, but
no,
I think it's kind of an industry thing.
Yeah.
Because, my background, that was something even in the advertising world that embracing digital was a kind of a known thing in the industry. It was difficult because advertising was always done in a certain way.
Right.
And digital, and not just advertising, digital revolutionized in a lot of different industries. And I think that's been now kind of in the past. I think everything's caught up now, but that's been one of the cool things about doing it, is it's always changing.
But now that everything is, our people are starting to get the grasp and get caught up in that, at least for a certain percentage. There's Web 0.30, right? Web 3.0 or Web 3.
Yeah. I'm still trying to wrap my brain around it too. I get it. Yeah.
I know you had mentioned that you'd be open to talking about that. Like, I've been listening to podcasts, hearing people talk about it. There's been kind of an evolution from Bitcoin, right? Cryptocurrency, that whole world. And now it's, I think, starting to be more mature and called Web 3.
It's getting there. I still think it's early. I mean, I'm tough on, NFTs, and, I'm big on the future of it. I just think it's early. I think a lot of people that are hopping on the get rich approach of NFTs, I just don't think there's a future in that side of it, but I do believe in the blockchain, foundation and all that. Like, I'm looking forward to what it's going to do to healthcare, what it's going to do to real estate, what it's going to do to, like, I think we're just scratching the surface. So that part I enjoy, just the decentralization of, anytime you blow up. I'm a fan of blowing up anything. Like, I love when something's established and it's like, oh, that's blowing. That's exciting. I know it scares a lot of people. I think it's fun.
Yeah.
I'm not I don't follow it 100. I'll be honest. I've tried to look into, the details of it. It's a little confusing. I've gotten better, but I'm just excited at what it's going to do to the design world, and how it's going to put a lot of power back into creatives' hands. And I think we've seen that in general evolving over the last few years, where you're seeing a lot of creative minded people getting seats at leadership tables and things that maybe in the past wasn't a thing. And I think a lot of smarter companies are realizing that mindset is important. So I do see it being that. I think you're going to see a lot of revolutionary things happening with it, and I'm excited for it.
It's really fascinating. I mean, we're seeing headlines now, 20-year-olds, 13-year-olds, or teenagers who just did NFTs during the 2020, and then they're making millions now. It's just like, how is that possible? But yeah, no, I mean, power to the creatives, right? But even with social media alone, there was a lot of freedom, power for people to create things, right? And even YouTube, people are just creating regular content, recording themselves. Had I known 10 plus years ago that I could just upload videos about my lifestyle, I'd probably be making millions by now. Ryan's World, as an example.
That's crazy.
It is crazy. So the whole blockchain
and TikTok blowing up like it has. That's a whole nother world of that. That's just, as my wife and I call it, a TikTok hole. Like, it's like I actually deleted it off my phone for a while because I was like,
Good for
gosh,
you.
I don't
You get
remember
sucked
it
in.
being as addictive as a social, like it just sucks you in. I was like, I look up and I'm like, whoa, it's been how long? Like it's crazy on it. So
No, I
yeah,
know.
it's
Well, I
I
wanted to
definitely
also,
see
I
Mhm.
also wanted to mention too, like how you've won awards. I'm guessing you probably won awards at TWA. Is it?
TBWA, yes, yes.
Yeah,
Zimmerman is yes,
yeah,
transition
Zimmerman.
and TBWA, bright
Yeah,
red. Yeah,
yeah, bright red.
yeah. When I was there.
And at Understory, your team has won
Yeah, no,
several.
I love. I mean, that's partly probably my advertising background too. But awards are just it's not something that we solely focus on, but it's always
Oh,
good to
you go
have that
fishing.
as a background. Yes, we got to go to Costa Rica. That was a blast. That was
Awesome.
fishing. That's I forget the name of it. I think it's called a reef donkey. Is what someone told me. That's slang word, which is funny because I guess it fought so much, but it was fun catching it. Costa
Oh,
Rica is
cool.
amazing, by the way. I don't know if you've ever been there. We're going back. I loved it.
No, I
But
hear great things about it. Like a lot of
yeah.
people are moving there.
Yeah, I would totally go back. It was
Yeah.
we plan on it. It was amazing. But yes, we've been fortunate to win awards. Communication arts was one that was a bucket list. I'll be honest. I remember when I started out in design, I would go to libraries and just pour over communication arts and be like, man, I wish my work. I want to get in this one day. Like, just it's the best work in my opinion back when I was young. So to get in back to back, we got it in 2020 and then again 2021 with just was floored and so excited to get into the annual a
That's a
couple
huge
times. So
milestone. For those
yeah,
people who
no,
don't know, I mean, I that was the publication I went to for inspiration. Like as a student, it was a big deal to be featured on that. And it still is, obviously. But for me, it's like, oh my gosh, this work is amazing.
yes,
The best creatives, designers,
big honor. Yeah, I
agencies
was
get featured. Yeah.
very excited, very excited. I've entered many times, even times since then. It's tough to get in. So I was floored that we were honored to get in that.
Yeah.
And same thing with the Addy Awards. We've entered that over the years too, trying to to start local, go to district, and then go to national. And always wanted to win a national. Never made it a few times, but we've never won one. But that's a goal of ours. And Capital City Honey was some work we were proud of. That was one of the ones that made it to CA and did well. Was a finalist for best of show at the district Addies, which the district Addies are the state of Florida plus the Caribbean. So that
Awesome.
was a big deal. When we're up there against big agencies, it's always an honor we lost to, I think someone did the Smoky Bones. I forget the name. Dunn. I think they're out of Tampa, bigger agency, and was a fantastic work. I mean, absolutely should have won, but just to be in that same vein and in an awards thing is always an honor.
That's awesome. And yeah, I mean, the fact that I'm guessing, like, did they do just branding or did they do other things? Like
The
the honey,
Capital City Honey.
yeah, Capital
That
City.
work,
Sorry.
yeah, we did the brand and the website. So what we entered in
Okay,
that was their brand identity and the website. I think were the
cool.
main two things of just how we rolled that out. And there was hats and tea towels. Like it's the client, as any great work, I always say you got to have good clients. I mean, you can do work, but if you don't have good clients, and Cameron is the owner there, and she was just fantastic. If clients want to push boundaries or come in, and she had great vision, that helped with, all that boils into. So anytime that there's work that we're proud of that ends up getting recognized, there's always the client that needs to be acknowledged because you
Yeah,
can't do good work without good clients. And so
it's
that
really
was
true.
a good example of that. And I like when clients push us something. Those are the best ones where it's like we might have something that we like, and they might, the ones that come and contribute great ideas and make things better. And that was one that definitely has been a good one, and we're proud of.
There has to be like a sense of trust too. Like that's
Definitely.
one of the biggest challenges for designers, creatives, videographers, even like just anybody who produces work
Mhm.
for clients is the clients really have to
It's
trust that you know what you're doing.
it's something that I push, that it's relationships. I mean,
Yeah.
it's really comes down to people and relationships. And we just, I try to make sure that identify that with clients, that they see us as an extension of their team. If they have a team, if it's depending on the size, or if it's someone that's, like Cameron with Capital City Honey, where they just have a vision and they're coming in and we can help them do that. It's not back to that investment, not an expense. It's just, I want to make sure that there's a relationship that's there. And that's something that I can identify, try to at least, to be like, maybe we're not a fit. If someone wants, more of a vendor, like I hate being referred to as a vendor, because it's that to me, just you're immediately framing things in a certain relationship that I don't really think we fit that bit. I mean, there's people out, nothing against it. There's people out there that's what they do, but I try my best to hopefully find fits where that we enjoy working with clients, and same thing with our team, that we enjoy working with each other. And otherwise I feel like you're just kind of wasting your time.
That's awesome. And you also do app development too, right?
Yes, we do app design, web apps. We focus a little bit more on web. We do have done a few native mobile apps. We have lots of partners. People, Cuddlesoft. I don't know if you know that. We worked with them in the past before they moved their headquarters to Denver.
I know.
And
Colorado,
they're great.
Right?
Yeah, and they're great. So like we did some work with them. Development wise, we do have developers that can do, but our focus is we've done a lot more on the design side for that, UX and the UI design, and then have pulled in partners on development or vice versa.
Cool.
We've had developers who pull us in. I find that as kind of a sweet spot. We work a lot with ad agencies and with tech divisions that have certain expertise, but maybe need some support in the UX and design side of things. And so we plug in well there too. But most of the time, we like to handle encompass the full work if we can.
Yeah. So I'm pulling up your site because obviously you have great work featured here. Just wanted to make sure people see that.
Yes, thank you. As usual, it needs to be updated.
Well, that's a common problem for all of us.
Yes.
But it's still beautiful. Like, it's timeless. It's classic. That's the nice thing. You don't have to always update it. I mean, look at that. Look at how interactive that is.
Thank you. Yeah, that's one of those dribbles. I still go there, but it's kind of slowly been dying. Sadly, definitely hasn't had as much activity as I've seen there, but I still go there. There's still a lot of inspirational work there. We used to have that integrated into our site. Been trying to update that as usual. It's like the cobbler's children have no shoes every time, So I've been even just updating content. It's just tough to stay on top of it. I tried my best to coach our clients, and
it's tough, a good sign though when you don't have too much time and you have to use it for clients, right? Like that's the joke, I think.
Yes. It's just focus time. As I tell anybody, it's like, you can do anything. You just got to dedicate the time to it.
Yeah.
That's the hard part. Yeah.
Yeah. And having the team members, like I know Connor because we actually met through Domi, and he helped me out too before he joined you there. And he's a great person to work with. How many team members do you have?
Fantastic. We have 7 total.
Awesome.
The full-time is a mix of full-time and part-time. Connor's one of our earliest. He's been with us for years. Love Connor. He's integral to everything. He's a very talented and he's great guy. I don't know too many people that have anything bad to say about Connor. He's awesome. And he's been doing great work, and a lot of the teams behind a lot of what we do. And then I do lead a lot of the UX and design, but Hope Lavender is another one on our team. She's been with us, working with her for quite a while. She joined full-time last year.
Cool.
But she's a designer and front-end dev, and Connor does front-end dev and does some design too. So we look for that blend, creatives like designers and that dev plus design. But I always look for strengths. I don't think everybody can do. Someone's always fitting in a parallel somewhere. But some people can have great eye for photography or videography, but they So all that's what we look for. But I'm blessed. Like I said, great clients, great team. That's what you got to have, and that's kind of always the undercurrent of things that maybe don't come to the surface. So try our best to hopefully have that come true.
It's not the easiest to retain talent in Tallahassee, but you've managed to figure it out and how to do that. And I think people can learn from you. I mean, companies here in Tallahassee can learn a lot from you and companies like you. So what do you feel like has helped for you?
I just back to the relationship side and being open. I think especially, ability to work from home. And we were already kind of a hybrid team already. We have other team members that live in other states or in different areas. And I think I just try to be open, and one of the main things is just love each other, work well together, take care of each other, always be there to help. I mean, our principles are really grounded in that, and I try to live by that. And I think that's part of what I hope people that clients and people who work with us. I consider it a privilege to work with anybody, whether it's someone who works on our team or as a client. I just think it's a matter of finding the right people. I can be anywhere. I think drive my wife crazy anywhere. It was just, I know I tend to be very within quickly being like, I love this person, or like, I can be anywhere and be like a waitress or somewhere. I'd be like, I'd hire her, I'd be anywhere to be like, I could just see things, and there's certain things to look for. It's, hire the person. You can train the skills. Yeah. You can train the skills. You hire the person. That's kind of I'm always out there looking for that type. But you're right. Finding talent is everything. Finding people that have talent and that fit into your culture and to fit into your system is everything. And so yes, we're always have the eye out for that. And then of course retaining. I mean, it's great.
Huge.
I'm very thankful to have the people who stay doing this. Yeah.
Because the competition now, like we're competing now outside of Tallahassee, like companies now, even big companies are trying to recruit all over. I can say this, like my husband gets recruited from the FANG companies. I don't know if people are familiar with that term, Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, Apple, Google. They're heavily trying to steal other people's or other.
I have friends who have startups. Yeah, friends who work in town. I've seen a lot of people who move back here who, work for startups out in San Francisco. I mean, the market's definitely nationwide on it, but it just goes back to relationship and what people want, and freedom. I mean, I think that's part of
and
it
the
too.
Culture.
I try to be like, the culture. Are you happy? I mean, it's really are you happy? And anything that I can do to help anyone be happy, whether it's clients, employees, or just anyone, is what we try to aim to do. So sometimes that changes, and there's nothing you can do about it. And not just empowerment. Good. Anything I can do to help if someone wants to do that. So yeah, I know people they struggle to find talent, because of that very reason that. It's not cheap, and because that market is out there. Honestly, it's a little just kind of like the real estate market. It's just kind of crazy right now. It'll probably all level out eventually, but someone told me the other day. I know that Facebook's paying a crazy premium just because of their brand, or Meta. Sorry, their brand.
Yeah, Meta. I
was people to come work there because it's like
we're gonna call them Bang.
But that's how things evolve. I think it's great. It's great. Back to that idea that, creatives have a lot of power now. I think it's great. It's something to be mindful of, but also, be mindful of yourself and like, what do you want? Because it's easy to get caught up in I'm going to go work for somewhere big. It's like, that's great. But, make sure that you kind of have a vision of what you want and what makes you happy.
Right.
I think that's the most important thing.
It's not easy to run an agency, and digital marketing agency, any kind of design studio too. It's just, and even to grow it. So what's your plan? Like, are you planning on scaling to a big, firm?
No, my vision was never more than 10. It's just, again, back to if we're doing okay, we're able to live the way that we need to and the way that we want to, and we're happy. That's all I'm fortunate that we've never put out an ad to like get business. Everything we've done is word of mouth. Just thankful for people that I know and just doing good work and just taking care of people. I mean, that's really what it's help. If someone needs help, we do what we can to help. And then if we can't help, I try to recommend or, find, direct them somewhere else to someone else who could help with it. That's just kind of the principle. And I'm just blessed to have been able to be okay so far. We're in technically year 6 now, whatever, lost the math on it, which
I think it was a little, it was around, I feel like a lot of us started around the same time. I started 7 years ago, around the time Domi started. And then I feel like I heard about your business after that.
Yeah. It's crazy. It goes by quick. And
I know.
Yeah, we keep doing. I mean, it's not necessarily status quo. We definitely push ourselves. We've done more work. It's more of that, I definitely set goals of trying to extend out. Like I want to get clients out west. Like we've never really done any clients. It's been past, we have clients that are in the US, but nothing, I've never really done anything out west or, things like that of like, we have goals like that of I'll be traveling out there soon. So I always have my eye open for opportunities or see things, or connections, anything like that. So I'm excited. As I said, that's part of our industry evolves and I love it. And we're trying to do our best to keep up with it, whether that's tools or technology, and definitely something we want.
Wow. Look at Eddie's shout out there.
Ed. Yes, that was Eddie. Eddie cool. And the Ruvos team is a client, a fantastic client. That's a logo we did for them and we're actually working on their website right now.
Nice.
I absolutely love that one. It was one that was a challenge, and it was great because of their background. They had a great story of being Uber ops, and I met with them, and they needed it quick. And just again, back to great clients. They had some great direction, great feedback, and it worked. I love it, and I think it's one of my favorite logos that we've done.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. And I was there the other day, the launch tally event. I don't know if you heard about it, but Eddie was behind a
I
really
did. I
cool,
had a conflict. Yeah, I'm
you
actually
know,
leaving town in the
well,
morning,
you
and
got well,
it's
I think
craziness.
they were recording it. If
Oh, I'm definitely
Eddie,
gonna catch it. Yeah, I know a lot of
yeah,
people that went there. Yeah,
there was
yeah.
a really
Was
there's
coming out
some
of spring
awesome
break
stuff.
last week, crazy week that I got to leave town tomorrow. Otherwise,
No
I
worries.
totally would have gone.
And
Yeah,
I know his
there's
team
going to
like,
be another one. I know because from what I saw, it was a success. I knew it would be.
yeah, like 200 attendees.
Yeah.
I think the team threw it in under 2 months, so they had a lot of opportunities lined up really well for them, and they threw it together. And so if you check out, I think if you're on the Launch Tally portal, you'll start seeing a lot of activity. Get on
Oh
there,
yeah.
Eric. Get your team to get on there.
Yeah. Well, I like the networking, the vision of, bringing together a little bit better connectivity in Tallahassee, of knowing of these different, there's a lot of tech places in town that people don't
Yeah.
realize, like startups. And I think it's great. It's that great idea that I know Eddie spearheaded and put all that together. It's something I think will be really beneficial.
Yeah. That was cool. And I know I started a little bit late because I was trying to figure out like how to get my intro together. But yeah, I mean, I would love to ask you more questions and get into it more at another time, but I want to be
Sure.
respectful of your time. And for those of you who don't know, I'm just going to go ahead and share, make sure you guys follow them on social, follow their awesome work. There's their, LinkedIn, there's Instagram, go to their website. I don't use Twitter often.
See, I'm a Twitter lover.
I
I
know,
don't
I
post a
know.
whole lot on it. I
I
love
think
it.
most
I'm
men
more of a
like Twitter.
consumer. Yeah. I love
I think
Twitter.
it's big in sports, it's big in journalism
I
and
It's a
men.
fire hose, and I love it. I can come in and be like sports, design, tech, business, and just all in a
Yeah,
row, and I love it. Yeah.
I'm more of an Instagram person, but yeah. So for those of you who are interested, contact them here. And out of curiosity, do you do MVPs too?
Do what? I'm sorry.
MVPs,
Like
uh,
minimum viable product.
yeah.
We've done some on it. Yeah, a lot of that. It just depends on the case. Yeah, it depends on
Cool.
the situation, and there's a lot that's involved in that. But we have helped in some of those.
Very awesome. Well, thank you so much, Eric, for hopping on.
Well, thank you for
This is
inviting.
awesome. And Eddie, thank you for being our audience.
Yes, Eddie. Thank you.
So for those of you who caught the recording later on, please feel free to share, comment, and like. And this is going to be on YouTube. It's on LinkedIn. Or yeah, my team's going to finally catch up on getting this stuff on LinkedIn because I have so many episodes to share with you all. I have my JHC Lives for local Tallahassee entrepreneurs. And then I have Filipino entrepreneurs. I'm actually finding awesome people in my Filipino Hustle Fridays guests. So anyone interested who wants to interview with me and just share your story, please follow me on social and have a great day. Bye,
Thank you.
everyone. Thank you, Eric.
Thank you. Bye.